All right, Wolfpack, we're here today talking about how we're going to fund the pack. You know, this association has grown into something that we never expected. And we're at a growth point now to where we need to climb one more time. What we're asking, though, is questions of how do we do it better? And what does it take to make it better? In particular, how do we raise funds without bothering people to raise funds? So with that in mind, guys, you know, Dane, what do you think that is important for us to be able to really grow the association to something even bigger than we are now?
Well, I mean, in the years past, you know, everything that we have done has been funded by the Wolfpack Alumni. And over, just in my experience, the last 4 reunions, it has grown significantly every time. And it wouldn't be possible without the contributions from the alumni.
Okay, that's cool. Kim, what about you? I mean, you know, we're growing. We have at least 3 or 4 more programs we want to launch. How do we do it?
Yeah, it's pretty simple to say you're going to donate, but you know, we have the ability for our alumni to go online and do a general donation, reoccurring every month. So it, you know, whether it be $1, $5, $10, it doesn't matter how much we're wanting. It's how much you're willing to give back. It's bigger than self, you know. So if we can't give that back to the association to continue to grow, because we have grown so much, the funding is needed. The funding is needed to continue on with what we're planning, what the mission is, the vision. We need their support.
Okay.
We gotta have their support as well as giving them the support they need.
Cool. What about you, Matt? I mean, you've got some skin in the game.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have that reoccurring payment to Beer for the Wolfpack. You know, I contribute $20 a month to it because, you know, I put my money where my mouth is. I want to see this organization continue to grow, and kind of what we were talking about earlier, when I was outside and just going to the reunions, thought money it just happened. Like, didn't really think about it, where all the money and fundraising came. And fundraising is a key part, and you know, it's how we get people involved. I mean, all members, the big community need to get together and start helping to make sure these events continue to grow and get bigger as the association becomes stronger. You know, the best way of doing that is just go online, just contribute, even if it's $1 to $5. It doesn't matter, anything helps.
You know, we think about, you know, the impact of, sort of nailed it down. Everybody's got bills and payments and all those other things. But every year or every 2 years, when we get ready to have the gathering of the pack again, we start the campaign of donate, and Marines rise to the occasion. But I mean, you guys know from the last go around, we all wrote some pretty big checks to make sure that the gathering of the pack worked out right and came out the way we wanted it. But we were talking to the treasurer earlier today, and she was talking about the fact that we bring in already like about $300 a month based on 28 contributions. What do you
Out of 28 contributions, and what we have as far as membership goes, the followers, the Facebook just alone itself, you're looking at approximately 3,000, and a little bit more above 3,000. And you would think everybody would want to have that skin in the game to see this association succeed and excel. For the Wolfpack, for the Marines, for the families, for the Devil Ducks, I mean, you can't forget them guys either. So, I mean, really. But yeah, everything that revolves around this whole gathering to strengthen the pack, you know, it costs money. It costs money. You know, these gifts, and we've all contributed out of our own pockets to make sure things happen. The bell for the fallen, that was donated by your team here, your president, vice president, you know, sergeant at arms, director, treasurer. The flags we put up, there's a number of things that we pull out of our own pocket just to make sure it got covered.
So can we keep doing that? I mean, I
think it's absolutely possible, especially if you look at all the new members that, you know, joined us in San Antonio for the first time. I can understand questions coming in, you know, prior to that, but once they did attend and saw everything that we were able to accomplish and the fact that it was a world-class event, I think they're just blown away. And with that being said, I don't think there's going to need much convincing from them.
I like it. What about it, Matt? Anything before we bring this to a
Well,
close?
just secondary to everything they said. I mean, contribute. Again, I was naive to it to begin with, but now being a part of the association, a member, yeah, everyone needs to do their part and make sure this association, this brotherhood continues on to the future.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So here we are. What you see before you right now are the officers for the association. Our goal is to strengthen the pack. But what we do know is that we can't strengthen the pack if we don't have the funding to strengthen the pack. Does this mean that you have to get a lot of skin in the game? Nah. We have guys that do $5, $1, $10, $20, and even more. You'll decide what works best for you. But what we do know is that if with 28 people we're bringing in $300 a month, and if we double that, triple it, and you look at the exponent math, we could actually do something amazing. What you'll find is that once the funding becomes available, this association is going to become something that no one ever expected. We didn't expect it to be where it is right now, and we can see our growth pattern coming right behind it. All we're asking is that you, like we say, put some skin in the game, become part of the solution with us. Thanks.
Do we want to reiterate? I know I always say it every time.
Yeah.
The whole, this is remind them and people that come with this is a 501(c)(3). We are completely voluntary.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
We have no salary.
Every dollar that we raise goes back to the associate, the Marines of this association.
Only specifically, and we are very
And-
tight.
Like a chunk, I
Yeah.
flew to Houston,
But
Texas.
I love
You
your
know, don't get paid for this.
Yeah.
The right thing. We need to put that out there.
Yes, but fraud and scams are so relevant these days. You just need to hammer that home. You need to almost go out of your way to hammer that home. And so, they know that we're accountable, with their money.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're doing something for the Wolfpack, there's nothing more you can ask for.
Right. And that's everybody talks about how strong the pack is. We're so strong. We're so strong. And we are. There's no doubt about it. Look at the battalion. Look at our combat history.
Yeah.
That pretty much tells you how lethal we are. But now it's different. Our veterans are different.
Yeah. Everybody that's serving on the board, ever since it started, you're talking about those that decided to give more. But nobody got paid. Nobody's ever got paid. Dipped into their own pockets to help get things moving along. So, it's a lot more involved than what most folks think. So.
Yeah, the biggest thing we've got going on right now that we're trying to get accomplished is the first education grant. We're going to do what, 1-500, and we want to grow it. What does growth in the education grant mean? What do you think that our alumni and their children will get out of that, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the more people you can get involved, to start donating out, we can give out more education grants in the future. We can give them for larger amounts of money. Again, we're not taking any of the money. All the money that you donate and bring to this association goes directly back to you and your families, and that's the whole goal. Is to make sure that the Wolfpack and everyone involved is, and their families are getting taken care of. So yeah, with more donations means more educational grants, means bigger educational grants, and continuing to other projects we have coming in the future.
Okay, what do you think, Kim? You've got a vision. What's
Drink big.
drink beer. And party hard, right? Now outside of all that,
No, the biggest thing is the vision. You know, we don't want to leave anybody behind. Right? We want everyone to be engaged. We got a lot of folks out there that really want to reach out and say, hey, you know, I don't want to be forgotten. You know, I'm here. Help me.
well, I mean, what does that mean? I mean,
You
if you look, because help is very
Yeah,
broad,
it
right?
is.
One of the things we know we can't do, we can't be.
We're not a bank. We're not a bank.
We can't be a beneficiary. All that
Signing
stuff.
off loans. That's not the intention of the organization.
No.
So you know, you're looking at being there for all of us. Everyone would like to have a part of them believing that there is something bigger than just one individual. When one individual is not going to do this. So again, we're circling back to how is this going to happen? Well, we need funds to be able to do this. Some of the bigger dreams we've got is, you know, some people, we came across a story one time, hyperbaric chamber, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that would be a tremendous step for somebody that is really needing something like that, but that costs money. If we're really wanting to invest into healing, to help somebody heal from severe wounds, pains, of that nature, all right, you know what? Guess what? We're going to step up.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that we're going to fund the whole thing, though.
No,
It's impossible.
We're going to step up, though.
Okay. What do you think? I mean, how easy now? I mean, is it to become part of the solution rather than part of the problem?
That was a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
No,
you
yeah.
know, we've been talking about this, you know, since we've come together, and I mean, in your opinion, how easy is it for everybody to be a part of the solution?
I think it's a no-brainer, you know. I know everyone has, you know, financial obligations, you know, but the easiest way to provide a minimal impact would be a monthly recurring payment to the association via PayPal.
Okay. You know, Matt, you brought up something with the combined federal campaign, you know, back in our Marine days. And how, here they come, right? And Navy Relief and all those guys coming in, pimping us for cash. But you know, if you think about it, and I remember, you know, myself included, every time CFC came out, I increased, I think every time I got promoted, I increased my CFC campaign. I did. One after another. And to the point to where I was probably doing $100 a month to CFC, just like that. And I was in a position to do that. I got lucky and, you know, made it to Master Gunny, and there's a lot to be said for giving back. And what this essentially is, you know, this whole contribution, beer for the Wolfpack, recurring payment, whatever you want to call it, that is like our own individual CFC campaign. Think about it.
Yeah.
And it's something that we can choose to do, and you can start. And the great thing is, if you go, crap, I can't do this anymore, just turn it off. It's not that big of a deal. But like you guys understand, we're unpaid volunteers, and now you even flew to California out here for this officer meeting, and that shows the dedication of what the officers are doing here. Certainly, it should set the example, or let everybody know that our fiscal responsibility with whatever they donate is going to be above reproach, and they can certainly trust us with the funding they send.
Just a small piece of the puzzle.
Yep.
You know, it's that simple. Just go online, whether it be $1, $5, you know, donations. There's several different ways you can contribute, but you know, a recurring donation, whatever amount that you feel comfortable with, you know, is greatly appreciated. So, you know, to carry forward, to keep going, keep this thing moving.
Yep.
Once we're stagnant, it's over.
That's right.
It's over.
Yep. So,
Shady about the money. You have 2 cops on the board though.
Oh, hey!
and we all know there's nothing shady about cops. I'm sure that about half our alumni.
Cops, yeah.
Some of the guys can keep the lap dance fun.
We We may or may not edit that out.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You know, but in all seriousness, you know, we look at where this association began, you know, was it now 12, 15 years ago?
Oh my gosh.
And now here we are, you know, pulling together 350 to 400 to 500 Marines for our gathering of the pack.
Well, you know, it's easy.
3,000 followers.
You look at it. First gathering was, you know, a fishing trip, right? You know, and that was a handful of bodies and the family, kids, whatever, that showed up. And then it led to approximately, you know, I think it went right around 50. You know, okay, so everybody was pitching in to cover the cost, you know. So, and then as it continued to grow, it just like, you know, this is costing more and more money. You know, we've got to figure out ways to cover some of these costs. You know, not everybody can afford it, and also it offsets a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. The funds that are raised helps us have us bargaining power, right, to hold these events. And now that we've gotten to a point where we're at, oh my gosh, we could be potentially right around 600, give or take, right in that range right now for this next gathering.
Right.
All right. So we're now becoming limited on our options on where to go with that size of, you know, organization. As we keep climbing, there are approximately 20,000 Wolfpack Marine members. You know, you've Devil Docs and approximately 20,000 plus out there, still untapped. Right. And if we ever get to that range, and I hope we do, we're going to be able to cover all that.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the things that I'm excited about is that by all accounts we've blown past the Highlanders and the Destroyers. Outside of everything else, little old Wolfpack out in 29 Palms, California that everybody avoided. Nobody wanted to go there.
That's right.
And somehow we've managed to put together the strongest association of the 3 LAR battalions. Who'd ever thought that could happen?
Yeah.
You know, and when I was the advocate, you know, a lot of when I would tell people, oh yeah, we got to cut you orders for 29 Palms. Oh yeah, I had people EAS because they didn't want to go or retire because they didn't want to go to 29 Palms,
Right.
which kind of makes us even more special because you know they say that those who suffer together grow a greater bond. Apparently, we got that right.
Yeah.
Because
that's absolutely right there. That's it.
And if you remember the picture we took after the last reunion or last gathering, and then we filled that whole floor.
The whole floor was filled up down there.
I sent that to the chairman of the Highlanders.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, take a look at this," and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't get him. You know, hardly get anybody to come together." Not that's a bad thing because everybody's busy.
No.
But it's kind of neat how the Wolfpack every 2 years will drop everything and find their way, you know, to the gathering.